Right, so at the previous lesson, according to my notes, we had reached in the Thomas Eginus book, to page 16, and we got as far as we completed sentence D. But just to, let's restart at D, so we have this little overlap. Now, Lavinia, you have been conspicuously brave in now appearing with your face showing. So would you like to translate for us into English? You go and he goes.
Okay, so you go and he goes should be gachasi cha gachati.
Yes. And could you, that was absolutely correct. Is there an alternative way of putting it that's also correct?
Gachasi cha gachati cha.
Absolutely right. Absolutely right. However, now in English, of course, it's ambiguous. Just you go. We don't know whether it's in English now because we've mostly lost the thou. It could be singular or plural. It could be singular, dual, or plural. So, Lavinia, what would it be if it was dual, meaning the two of you go?
So it should be gachata cha gachata cha.
Yeah, absolutely right. And you got all the aspirations there. What would it be if it were you plural?
Gachava? No, sorry.
Oh, hang on, I don't think we've even come to the plural yet, have we? Am I asking you? You know it anyway, don't you?
Not sure.
Okay, it's the same as the dual for the you, but without the visarga at the end. So it'll be gachata.
Gachata. Okay.
Right. Good. Well done. So, right. Can we come to you, Sanyu? Sorry, I'm sure I've got the pronunciation of your esteemed name wrong. Can you remind me the correct pronunciation?
Yes, Sanyu Wema.
Sanyu Weimang.
Yes.
Sanyu Weimang. Okay. So, how would you translate then? Where am I going?
Where am I going? Kutra gachami.
Right. And what if you were saying, where are we going, referring to just two of you?
Two. Kutra gachava.
Correct.
Gachava.
Yeah.
Kutra gachava. Okay.
And try now in the plural.
Okay. So, kutra gachama.
Absolutely correct. And remember, everybody, that if you're using the plural, it has to be for three or more, and not like two or more, as it would be in most languages, including Pali. And Pali has effectively lost the dual number. So in Pali, it's just singular and plural. So for where are you then? Yes, Kath, translate where are you?
Kutra. Sorry, where are you?
Yes.
Kutra Bhavasi.
Correct, yes. So Kutra Bhavasi Romeo, wherefore art thou, Romeo? So how would you put it if you were asking that question of two people?
Kutra Bhavata.
Correct, yeah. Good, okay, that was easy enough. Anyway, absolutely correct. And for Right, and sorry, oops, lost something. And for Pali, I've lost the. Yeah, sorry, Bob, sorry. Can you do the last one then? Where is he going? So unmute, Bob.
Sorry.
There we are.
Kutra gacchati.
Right. And what it would be, where are they going? The two of them, where are they going? Dual.
Kutra gacchata.
Right. And I think I heard you being very careful, correctly careful, to pronounce it as an unaspirated T, gacchata,
Yes.
as opposed to gacchata, which would be the U. And you can give us the plural, can't you? Even though we actually haven't formally come to it in these lessons. Where are they going, plural?
Kutra gacchanti.
Absolutely correct. Good. So the remaining page on lesson 2, one remaining page 17, is just a summary of things that we've already done. So there's no need to go through that again. So we can move on to the verse. That is the, which I'll call up here. That's the verse from Sanskrit poetry. Bhante Yushi, might you feel inclined to recite the verse for us in Sanskrit? I know okay. I'm being a bit unfair, but okay. Life is unfair.
Tanam satyam. Kantasya push sanam shrotrasya. Making good progress with this.
So I think you've gone mute, Bhante. Oh, there we are. You're back. Okay, I'm afraid something's gone wrong with your sound system, Bhante Yushi. No, I'm sorry, we can't hear. Okay, who's left then that I? Okay, Mariano, you recite it for us.
Okay.
I love that look of the Shoka Vega on your face when I asked you.
Could you make it a bit larger because I can't.
Of course, yeah. Here we go.
Okay.
Actually, sorry.
Yeah.
It doesn't appear fully black on my screen.
No, it is kind of gray, but
I don't know why that's happened.
Okay. So, Hastasya Bhushanam Danam Satyam Kantasya Bhushanam Shrotasya Bhushanam Shastram Bhushanai Kim Prayojanam.
Prayojanam. Right, a couple of the s was coming out of the sh, like Shrutrasya, should be Shrutrasya Bhushanam Shastram. Right, So bhushanam means an ornament, and it's normally used in the sense of the ornaments that one puts on the body, rings, necklaces, earrings, all the rest of it. Ornament or adornment, it's something that makes it beautiful. So dhanam, dana, as we know, dhanam is the ornament of the hand. In other words, what really makes your hand beautiful is not the rings you put on your fingers or the henna that you paint on your hand. What makes the hand beautiful is the fact that the hand gives. That's why hastasya bhushanam dhanam, the ornament of the hand is giving. And then the sentence, the construction is inverted. Satyam kantasya bhushanam. So truth is the bhushanam, is the adornment of the neck or throat. Incidentally, the word kantha means both the neck and also the throat. It's the same word in Sanskrit and Pali. So in other words, you can make your neck look beautiful by putting necklaces around it and so on. But the true beauty is the sound, the truth that comes out. Satyam kantasya bhushanam. The asya ending is just the genitive singular. I mean, hasta, hand, hastasya, of the hand, and kanta, throat, kantasya, of the throat, and so on. Now, the word, let's get onto my iPad. The shrotra. We have the root shru, meaning to hear. And it's one we all know. So shruta means heard. And so we have in Sanskrit, in Pali, evam maya sutam, in Sanskrit, evam maya shrutam, thus by me heard, thus have I heard. And so Pali Sutta. And of course, not to be confused with Sutta, which is an entirely different word, Sutta. So the Shrotra, as we know, this ending tra. Okay, going down a little rabbit hole here, but you know lots of these words already. A tra, the ending tra, will often mean a tool or an implement for doing something. We have the root man, meaning essentially mind. So the word mantra, that same mantra, is literally means a mind tool, something you use in guiding or training or strengthening the mind. A mantra, literally a mind tool. Ni means to lead, and netra is that which leads, a tool for leading you. That's often used to mean the eyes. It's the eyes that guide you. So the netra. The shru, meaning to hear. So your shrotra means audio devices for hearing, and therefore your ears. So the shrotra is the ear. your hearing tool. So Shrotrasya Bhushanam, the Bhushanam of the ear, the true adornment of the ear, what really makes your ears beautiful is not the earrings you hang on them, but it is Shastram, so scripture. So the root, sorry, it's a long R. The root shas means to teach. Now, there, sorry, the Hindu scriptures, certain of the Hindu scriptures are called the Shastras, the Shastrani. The Shastra literally means a teaching device. So you get the Vedas, like the Rig Veda, Sama Veda, Yajur Veda, and so on. And the Shastras are the next level down. They're like teaching aids, teaching devices, Upanishads, like teaching aids. So Shastra, a teaching tool. Incidentally, with the ending ta, tar, which is equal the Latin tor in the dua, you get a shasta, which means the doer of something. A shasta is a teacher. And what happens to Shasta when it becomes into Pali? It becomes. So we have the chant, the Buddha's the Satta Deva Manusanam, and so on. The Satta, the teacher of Deva Manusanam, of gods and men. It's from that same Shas, Sanskrit Shasta, Pali Satta, Satta Deva Manusanam. So the Shastram is the ornament of the ear. Shrotrasya Bhushanam Shastram. Bhushanai Kim Prayojanam. Kim, we know, just means what. And we have our well-known root groups. Yuj, yuj means to join. Verbal noun, verbal noun is yoga. Yoga, yoking, junction. Cognate with the English word yoke. Latin jungere, from which then we have into English join, by the French joindre. That means joining. So prayuj means to use something. You're yoking it up. So when you're using your oxen, when you're getting everything ready, you join it up, you yoke it up, you hitch it up. So it is the putting to use, prayojana, putting to use. So if you say, what's the use of so-and-so? You say, kim prayojanam, what use? What's it good for? Kim prayojanam. And if you want to say, what is the use? In English, we'd say, what's the use of something? But in Sanskrit, we say, what's the use by something? So in other words, we'd use the instrumental. So the bhushanai. Bhushanam, the neuter singular. And the plural is bhushanai. That's the instrumental plural. The Pali students will recognize the ending ehi as the instrumental plural. So the Pali ehi and the Sanskrit A are actually from the same origin. And an alternative ending in Vedic is ebhi. Right, so bhushanai with ornaments kim prayojanam. So it's saying here, the real ornament of the hand is giving, the real ornament of the throat is the truth, the real ornament of the ears is scriptures, that is, using them for hearing the scriptures. Bhushanai kim prayojanam. That means, what's the use then of ordinary adornments? Bhushanai kim prayojanam. Right, now that we've been through the entire verse, I'll just read it through once, and then I am going to ask one of the people whose faces I can see to recite it. So, hastasya bhushanam danam satyam kantasya bhushanam shrotrasya bhushanam shastram bhushanaya kim prayojanam. Oh, I thought you were disappearing from your screen for a moment, Kath. You're back. Good. Would you like to recite the verse for us?
Okay. Hastasya bhushanam danam satyam kantasya bhushanam shrotrasya bhushanam shastram bhushanai kim prayojanam.
Well, yes, you got all the individual words absolutely right. But you seem to be dividing each line into 3 rather than 2. Do you see what I mean?
Yes.
You say hastasya bhushanam, pause, danam satyam, pause, kantasya bhushanam, end. In fact, it's more hastasya bhushanam danam,
Yeah.
pause, satyam kantasya bhushanam, and so on. Note that, and there's a natural break. I'm going to, oops, see if I can write it in here. Can I write it in here? I'll put in this slash here. There we are. So you can see my screen now. Hastasya bhushanam danam. It's the equivalent of the caesura in Western poetry. It just means a natural break within the line. Incidentally, a half line is called a pada. So the first pada, hastasya bhushanam danam. Second pada, satyam kantasya bhushanam. So bearing that in mind, Kath, would you like to do it again with the pada break,
Okay.
in the right place?
Hastasya bhushanam danam satyam. With these m dot downs, do you change, like, is it hastasya bhushanam danam, or is it hastasya bhushanam danam?
Okay. We'll try to pronounce all these like the Indian Brahmins. The anuswara, the subdotted M, will, in the most correct form of utterance, take on the quality of the following consonant. So you're right. So it would be hastasya bhushanam danam. Now, because we're at the end of a pada here, the caesura, you can pronounce the danam as an ordinary M, or optionally you can carry it on. Now, what happens to the anuswara before a sibilant, before an S? It becomes more like a nasal. So reading it, running it all together. Hastasya bhushanam danang danang satyang kantasya bhushanam. So if you get the M plus a G or a G, just a straight sound. You know, like the Devanagari letter, followed by a D or a T, it will be pronounced as an N, followed by B, P, and so on. It will be pronounced. So in other words, it'll take on the quality of the following consonant. Where, however, it's followed by a sh, s, sh, h, r, v, l. Yeah. It will just be nasalized. In fact, so you get sans lapa. In fact, it becomes curiously nasalized to the L because it becomes like a sans lapa there. But
Natasha, can you say it, Rebecca? Natasha. Hang on.
I'm sorry, say again. So I didn't catch that last one.
It's okay. My apologies. Yeah, my apologies, Jim. While we were muted, we were reciting it ourselves, and I didn't realize I joined the conversation. So my apologies. My apologies for the interruption.
Well, no, I don't regard it as an interruption at all. And if you wanted to come out with it, you're very welcome to recite it.
Well, this is what I struggle with. It's really just perfecting the pronunciation. And well, do you want me to have a go? I'll have a go if you want.
Well,
I can't.
Particularly Aidan, with an accent that I detect to be that of the land of my fathers, I'd love to hear it.
Okay, I'll try, but you can correct me at every turn. Okay.
Please continue.
Okay, so it is Hatasya Bhushanam.
Sorry, Hastasya.
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 Hastasya. Hastasya Bhushanam Danam. Satyam Kantasya Bhushanam. Shrutasya Bhushanam Shastram Bhushanai Kim Prajodyanam. Goodness.
Sorry, say that last word again.
Okay, it is Prayodyanam.
No, other way around. Prayodyanam.
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 Prayodyanam. Thank you.
Right. Now that came out very nicely. There were a couple of cases where what should have been an asya came out more like an ashya. Remember, astasya. It's an ordinary, straightforward S. The asya, kantasya, shrutrasya, and so on.
Yeah, I tend to slide into a Gaelic S.
Okay, right.
Okay. Thank you. No,
okay, thank you, Aidan.
Now practice.
Now you see what happens if you accidentally unmute yourself. Thank you, Aidan. Okay, Bob, I seem to recall you had a terribly simple bit of exercise to start with, which you got totally right. Would you like to recite the verse for us?
Okay, I'll give it a go. This would be a Geordie version, by the way.
Geordie, we're going from Ireland to Geordie. Wonderful. From the Emerald Isle to Newcastle.
Newcastle, okay. So here we go then. So it would be Hastasya Bhushanam Danam with a nasal M at the end.
Okay, option. If you want, okay. If you're reciting the verse very slowly, and you're like pausing in the middle, which you have the option to do, then it will be pronounced as a straightforward M,
okay,
like any fine limb. Hastasya bhushanam danam.
Okay.
Pause, and then or you can read it straight through as one unbroken one. Astasya bhushan danam satyam kantasya. So the first time I said danam, ordinary M, because I'm electing to pause there. The second time it became danam satyam, because danam satyam, like a nasalized. So it's entirely optional depending on whether you pause or not.
Okay. So we'll try it again. Okay. So hastasya, excuse me. Hastasya bhusanam danam satyam kantasya bhusanam shrotasya bhusanam sastram bhusanai kim prayojanam.
Right. I notice that you're pronouncing both the sh and the sh as a straightforward S. Now, in Pali, of course, and let me just call up my iPad again. Oops, where's my iPad gone? I've lost my iPad. Oh, come on. Sorry about that. Here we are. Got it back. Boom. There we are. This keeps doing funny things to me. In Sanskrit, we have the sh, the palatized one, and the sh as in bhushana, and we have an ordinary S, but they all become an ordinary S in Pali. When we're speaking Sanskrit, we have to be careful to distinguish the sh and the sh and the s. And you were tending to make them all s, as if you were a native Pali speaker, Bob. So can you give us the second line with the giving the correct value to the sh and the sh?
James, that second S and the second line there, the top line is sh, okay? Straight sh. It's the second one, which is the difficulty. The s with the dot underneath.
Okay, the sh with the dot underneath.
Yeah, is
that's a retroflex sh. We know we have the difference between ta, dental ta, and retroflex ta. This sh comes at the same point of articulation, the tongue touching the same spot. So ta, sh, with the tongue bent slightly back. And we have that, for example, in the root drish, to see, darshana, seeing. But when you add a T to it, they both become retroflex. So darshana with a sh, but drishti, sh. Darshana, drishti. It's only a slight difference, but it's a difference that's very evident to the ear of the for example of the native Indian speaker. Though it's worth practicing to get it right. So can you say shrotrasya? Here we've got three in a row. Sh, s, and sh. Shrotrasya bhushanam shastram.
okay, so shrotasya bhusanam shastram.
That's correct. Very good. Though it may be a feature of Geordie that you like to shorten the R to an A. Okay, you can do it in English. You can do it in English where you come from. don't do it in Sanskrit because it's not shastram. I know you like to say things like fast and last instead of fast and last. In Sanskrit, you've got got to do it long. It's shastram. And in fact, all the more important because, for example, Shastra, now to show you how important this difference is a wonderful example here. Shastra is teaching, or the teaching scriptures, literally the teaching tool. Shastra means a weapon or a cutting tool, from the root shas, because the root shas means to cut. So a shastra, a thing with which you cut, but more specifically, it means a weapon. And sometimes you find in Sanskrit poetry, you find that somebody, just as in old European families, one might go into the academic life or into the priesthood, another might go into the military. And that choice is given in Sanskrit as you can choose the shastra or the shastra. So if you choose the shastra, it means you're making your career as a soldier. If you choose the shastra, you're making your career as a scholar. It's like the French le rouge et le noir. You choose the black to be a priest. The noir, the black to be a priest, and the rouge to be a soldier. So that shows you, Bob, of the great importance, especially for Georges, of maintaining the distinction between Shastra, Shastra. Okay, I'm going to stop tormenting you in 1 minute. I just want you now to pronounce these two words very correctly. Shastra, Shastra.
So first is Geordie, second is home counties. Are you ready?
That's exactly so, yeah.
So, Shastra, Shastra.
You've got it. You see? Wonderful. You sounded just like an Indian Brahmin when you said that. That's perfect. Great. So I think we're pretty much through with that verse. And we've got another few minutes. Shall we make a start on the next lesson of Eginus, Thomas Eginus? Yeah, I'm conscious you have to be off in your delightful appointment, Mariano, in a few moments. Okay. See you then. Right, I'm looking now at Eginus at the beginning of lesson 3. I'll just, it's a bit boring I won't read through the entire lot. I'll just skip over. It says the consonants referred to as the stops. The stops, we call them that in English as well. It's because the tongue goes in a place where it actually stops the flow of breath. If we say w, v, and so on, f, they aren't stops, but if we say b, k, t, they're called stops because the flow of breath is actually stopped. And we've got the semi-vowels, the isha, it's the moving contact, literally. Ya, r, la, va. The sibilants, the S sounds we've just been discussing, sh, sh, s, and the aspirate, literally just the breathing, the voiced. Don't pay too much attention to where Thomas Eginus says they are pronounced like this. Well, yeah, yes, red, law, victory, almost. The V, transliterated as a V. We do not know exactly how it was pronounced in ancient times. It might have been pronounced exactly like a w, but to be on the safe side, I will just follow the Northern Indian pronunciation as a Hindi speaking, or my best imitation of how a Hindi speaking Brahmin would pronounce it. And if it precedes a vowel, it's like a v sound, v. Now, in English, when we say a v, if you say a v in English, you can feel your lower lip against the upper teeth, v and f, v, v. The Indians don't do it like that. If it precedes a vowel, it's just the lower lip and the upper lip almost touching v, but not quite. It's a v. It's not quite an English v, and it's not quite an English w, but it's in between. It's like a v, 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 almost like a w, but with the lips a bit closer together. And then there are variations in India. I mean, down in the south, for example, among the Tamil speakers, it'll come out as a pure v. So it's not absolutely vital to get it right, but it's preferable to try. That is, if it's before a vowel. Now, if it follows a consonant, then it will come out as a pure w. So, for example, the word dwara, which actually means a door, and it's cognate with our English word door, etymologically the same word, that will be pronounced as if it were a dwara, written like a DV, pronounced as a dwa. In fact, there's the, in kind of upstream along the Ganges, there's a place that's in modern Hindi called Gurudwar, literally the teacher's gate, the guru door, teacher's gate. Gurudwar pronounced as a dwa. And the word for self, written as SVA and in Devanagari, but pronounced as a swa, swa. And swada, swada. That's from the su plus ada. Literally good to eat, suada, swada. The pronounce the swa. Incidentally, lovely bit of etymology here. The prefix in Sanskrit and Pali, su, has the meaning of good, lovely. Subhashitam. The sugato, the Buddha called the sugato, literally the well gone. And the root ad, to eat, which is actually cognate with our English word eat. We have a strange survival in modern English, a strange survival where we have this soup. I think it's the only remnant I can remember where the English prefix or the English su has the same meaning as the Sanskrit su. So in Sanskrit, su ada, lovely to eat and so sweet. English, the English word sweet actually is that's the sw of sweet is an ancient survival from this su as in sugato and so on, literally meaning good to eat. Sadly, nowadays, many sweet things are bad to eat, but for the ancient hunter-gatherers, the sweetness indicated it was good for you. That was why they said sweet, good to eat. Right, out of that rabbit hole. Right, I'll deal with the Anusvara. We spoke about that a short while ago. And look at page 20 now, paragraph 7. That the Anuswara, the word swara means a sound. So in the Anuswara, anu means following, coming along afterwards. It's the Anuswara, or according, it's the following sound, like an after sound, the Anuswara. And as we've seen, it can be pronounced differently depending on what follows. Incidentally, at the end of a sentence, it's always correct to write it as a full M. And as we've discussed, it will take on the quality of the following consonant. We had Bhushanandanam or Bhushanandanam. The following word began with a D, and so the Anuswara then sounded like an N, to be at the same point of articulation as the consonant. But there's no need, you don't need to stuff all this now, stuff your brain with all this, because we'll be doing it time and again as we go along. I hadn't worked out whether to go through these pages, just reading them through with you. Probably not phenomenally exciting. We've got several pages here. What I would suggest is that I invite you on your own between now and next time, just to read the preliminary pages of lesson 3 on your own. And if there are any queries arising, to raise them with me. You'll probably understand it better anyway if you just read it to yourselves rather than me reading it to you. So at the beginning of the next grammar session, then I'll take any questions about this. So before we move on to the exercises, I think we can do if you've got a few minutes for the exercises. Any questions arising out of what we've done so far? Oh, incidentally, if anyone did want to hear me reading the entire lesson 3, word for word, it's up there on the on my YouTube channel. Right. Should we spend the last few minutes then plunging into the exercises? On page 29. Right. Let's start with 5A then. So shall we start with you, Sanyu? Oh, and please remind me of the abbreviated form of your name by which you like to be called.
Oh, Sanyu is, it would be okay. Sanyu. Okay, just
Sanyu. Thank you. Thank you.
So this is like Vadadi na Vadadi na cha vadami.
Right. Can you say vadati again?
Vadati.
Right, yeah.
Vadati na cha vadami.
Right. So
vadati,
the way you put it, it wasn't a natural break. You said vadati na chavadami. It here's vadati na chavadami, means he speaks, but I don't speak.
Okay.
Vadati na chavadami.
Vadati na chavadami.
Right, correct.
Vadati na chavadami.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. And sorry, and that means in translation?
That he says, and I'm not saying. No, I don't say anything.
Yes, correct.
He says, and I don't say.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, that's correct. So the vad can mean to speak or to say.
Or to speak. No, he speaks. Or yes.
Yeah.
I'm not saying. I'm not speaking.
Yes. He's speaking, but I'm not. So,
he's speaking, and I'm not. Okay.
So in B then, Kath, would you do B for us?
Vadatah smaratahcha.
Correct.
So that's you to speak and remember.
Oh, you two speak, correct.
They remember.
They too, yes, that's right. That's the vital distinction between the aspirated and the unaspirated T. Now, when you read it there, you read it in the way that it appeared in the first sentence in the book, without the sandhi. But if we were applying sandhi, and looking at my iPad screen now, if a word ends in visarga, followed by another word beginning in a ch, that h becomes sh. So say sentence B now with the sandhi, which is actually given for you below in brackets.
Vadatah smaratashcha.
Absolutely correct. Spot on. Right. Chris, can you do C for us, please?
Na gachanti, and that means they do not go.
Yeah. Correct, but subject to a caution. Namely that if we see in English just an N followed by a short A, we'd have the natural tendency to lengthen it, would you? Na. But remember, it is still, it's still na, even though it stands on its own. Na.
Nagachanti.
Nagachanti. Correct.
Nagachanti.
Correct. Actually, that was so easy. Would you like to do D for us as well?
Tishtama gachama cha.
Right. Okay. Be careful of the vowels in that first word, the long and the short.
Oh, yeah. Tishtama gachama cha.
Okay, it might not come back. Oops. Sorry, technical.
Yeah, James, my internet connection's a bit unstable.
Gachamashcha.
Tishtama gachamacha.
Sorry, and now with the sandhi.
Tishtamo gachamascha.
Correct. So that's because sorry, I'm trying to mirror it, but it won't mirror for me. Sorry, technical glitch. You can't have the iPad. It won't work. So the visarga, short with the subdotted H, the again before a voiced consonant. You got that right. Before a voiced consonant, here a g becomes an o. Tishtamo gachamascha. So we've got two sandhis to here, and the first one becomes O, and the second one becomes ash.
Yeah.
So my system is doing funny things, sorry.
Yeah, so's mine, James. I've had to
Oh.
stop my video from time to time. My internet connection seems to be a bit unstable. But anyway, that means we all stand and go.
That's right, yes, in the plural. That is correct. Right. Lavinia, would you like to do E for us, please?
Yes, James. So question E, bhavata cha, vazata cha. And with the sandhi, it should be bhavatas cha, vazatas cha.
Absolutely correct, yes.
So the translation should be you two are and you two live.
Correct, yes, correct.
Good.
Can you transpose it into the third person? So they two are and they two live.
Oh, sorry, yes. Bhavata cha, vazata cha.
Oh, got my. Sorry, just doing a techno fiddle there. It's come back. Say it again.
So day two, okay. Bhavata cha, vazata cha.
Right. Now, really to test you, Lavinia, say they two are and you two dwell.
So bhavata cha, vazata cha.
Okay. Yeah, I think I correctly heard you making the distinction in the ta and the ta.
I tried.
Okay, no, good, yes, you got it there.
And
Actually, it ought to be easy for the Italians because you can naturally do the unaspirated, can't you? Okay, is somebody waving me goodbye or waving goodbye rather than a question? Okay. Good. I think we're kind of there for the end. Where are we? 20 past. So, by the way, there will be an announcement. Some of you may have seen it. I felt very shy about doing this, particularly having had to abandon last time because of food poisoning. I've been doing, as you know, the full session, 2.5 hours or whatever it comes to, getting 2.25 hours on a Thursday, and that was followed by a similar length of session for Pali, for the Golden Buddha Center in Totnes, on the Friday. And with that plus a fairly full workload, it was, I regret to say, becoming a bit too much for me to handle. So what I will be doing, hopefully it's going to be all right with everyone, is to, as from next week, and this will all be put up on the Buddhist Society website. My Pali students have just had it of this morning, I think, or yesterday. That from now on, for the Sanskrit, we'll be starting at 12:30, and I'll be doing just one 75-minute session. It's basically just to assist my aging brain to cope with the workload. So the idea is that for the Sanskrit, on even-numbered weeks, starting at 12:30, we will be doing a 75-minute session. That's 12:30 to 1:45. On even-numbered weeks, we'll be doing the text. So currently the Bodhicharya Avatara. And on odd-numbered weeks, again, starting at 12:30 to 1:30, we'll be doing the grammar and vocabulary. That means that next week, which according to the standard week numbering is week 42, we'll be kicking off at 12:30 and doing the Bodhicharya Avatara, 75 minutes, and then stop. And the following week, then, and we'll carry on alternating like this, week 43, again, starting at 12:30, 75 minutes, we'll be doing the Thomas Egenus lesson. For those of you who feel deprived, you can always join then the Pali session via the Golden Buddha Center that starts at 2 o'clock following on. So it'll be a 15-minute break. Then we'll do a Pali session, but that's via the Golden Buddha Center, starting at 2. So I will then see you next week, 12:30, for the Bodhicharya Avatara, picking up where we left off. Oh, I think at least one person is clapping. Thank you very much, Al. Okay then. So thank you to you all, and see you next week, hopefully. Okay. Thank you so much to you all. Thank you.